we're back with another tier list. Now, let me be honest. Let me just say this first. With my playthrough channel, I have not been as consistent as I wanted to, but that will change. That will change this year. I promise you that. That will change, okay? I'm going to be more consistent, right? But I still have my yearly tier list to make of the games I did do a playthrough of. Now, you might notice that I've pulled some games. Wait, did I? No, it didn't save it. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange some games because I'm not going to lie. I looked at this list before I started recording and I'm thinking to myself, the hell are you talking about with some of these games? I'm going to have some gameplay in the back when I'm talking about a game, possibly, most likely. But some games, I'm looking at them and I'm like, bro, I kind of hold some of the games, no? So first off, now honestly, this is good. Wait, no, I think I changed the placing of some of these. I think I moved Erica and Complex up because I like those. Those are FMV games where there are real people and you're making choices and shit. So you're playing a game, but it's real people instead of just graphics, you know? These were fun. Oh yeah, I did move them. I didn't drag them down. I moved them. I moved Shadow of the Erdtree up because that game, I had some gripes with it, but it's Elden Ring at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is good. I think I moved Divinity Original Sin 2. Honestly, I might move that down. I was not feeling that game. I'm gonna get into it when I start talking about Baldur's Gate 3, but Divinity Original Sin 2, I'm probably gonna move down to Remnant 2 because I had a conversation with a buddy of mine and I think that that's fair. So Ralph, the buddy of mine that I played this game with, and Baldur's Gate 3, I'll talk about it. But yeah, I moved some of the things, chained together. I moved down. Like, I'm not comparing this to Dying Light 2, but if you want to hear my thoughts about the game specifically of these games, check out my last tier list. But yeah, I feel this list. I'm sticking with this. Oh, It Takes Two. Was I gonna move this down? No, I'm gonna keep it here and I'm gonna get into it. Let me reorder these into the order that I pretty much played them. Okay, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign, right? That campaign, so I've played from Modern Warfare 3 and I've played almost every campaign up to Black Ops 6, almost every single one. Black Ops 6, it might be my favorite campaign. It probably is, because I loved how differently they did everything. Honestly, they were so creative. I mean, like, the first hour of gameplay, I want to say first hour, maybe second hour, I was in that house, which is like the hub area. If you haven't played Black Ops 6, the campaign at least, it's like a hub area and it's like a reused multiplayer map, I believe. But it's this hub area and you're like solving puzzles and like unlocking areas of the room and you're getting lore. And I love the idea of just like packing. Like, first off, I don't need everything to be unique, right? If you want to reuse a multiplayer map or two, I'm not gonna be mad at you as long as it's done well. Because I didn't play the multiplayer. I mean, I tried the multiplayer of Black Ops 6 and I fucking hated it. But everything else, I'm going to spoil some stuff. I should mention that. I'm going to spoil some stuff. So if you haven't played it or you haven't watched me play it, then it is what it is. It is what it is. You can probably skip the video, right? But I loved the whole, like, how they worked in the zombies and like it was unexpected because I went into it not expecting anything. The covert missions, right? The action sequences, every mission was different. And I love that. I love that so much, especially out of a Call of Duty campaign that can just be a bunch of shooting, which I get it. Like, they did a lot of that back in the day and, you know, the stories were good, but I love this campaign. Again, the first couple of hours was me just solving puzzles, and I love that. I love puzzle games. And the fact that after every mission you go back to these characters and you talk to them and you have serious conversations with them and they're in different areas, it kind of reminds me, you know, in Baldur's Gate 3 when you go back to the camp and you talk to everybody, or Mass Effect. Those are great games that do the exact same thing, where you go back to the type of hub area. Everyone might be in different areas and they're talking to each other and you're talking to them. I think Call of Duty's I think the nature of Call of Duty always having a shorter campaign in a way can kind of hurt it, but I get it at the same time. So they have to fit in a lot, and I think they fit in enough. I enjoyed it a lot. It's probably my personal favorite Call of Duty campaign. I just loved it. I loved every second of it. I'm going to be putting this in A tier. A tier for me, right? A tier. And I don't do the left to right rating. That's too much. I'm not doing that. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Baldur's Gate 3. Here's the problem with Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is easily the best game I have ever played that I did not like. Here's the thing. When people say they don't like a genre or a type of video game, TV show, movie, I usually don't agree with it, right? Because I'm like, you don't like any of them? And I say that because they typically don't give it a shot. I feel like, did you really give it a shot? Motherfucker, I gave it a shot. I beat the game. I accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I did everything there is to do in that game, but I did a bit. Okay. Same with Divinity Original Sin 2. And in that game, I feel like I almost did as much as you could do, you know? And I felt the same way about that game, where I went into it thinking that I would love it. And I went into it, Divinity Original Sin 2 was kind of disappointing for me. I just did not really like it. I mean, I liked some of the fights, some of the combat, but what my friend pointed out was that some of it wasn't. We had like this cheap spell that basically restored our armor every round or so. And without that spell that he only happened to get because of the race he chose. That's the only reason he had the spell, is because of the race he chose. If it weren't for that game would have been so much more fucking annoying. And that's why I dropped it down. And I didn't really take that into consideration. Maybe we're not smart enough. If it was just me though, I would have been like, oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm just not smart enough. But both of us being like, this is stupid, is like, damn. But I get that some people like that stuff. It's D&D type stuff. It's supposed to be hard, whatever. But god damn, bro. Baldur's Gate 3 I did not like the way they went about some of the combat. But I will say that the game is fucking incredible when you look at it. Like the fact that everyone is voiced and has facial expressions. I mean, it's a technical marvel considering all the different choices you can make. And I mean different choices. I mean important characters being killed off, like they're gone forever. Imagine in Mass Effect, if every mission, or if like there were actual missions where a character could die. And I don't mean like the end of Mass Effect 2. I mean in the middle of the game, like you go on a mission, they dead, or they're gone, they leave you. There was one point where we reloaded a save because we were like, everyone died. But like not us, not our characters. So we could have just kept going. And the character that we added to our camp, Jaheira, was like sad that all her people died. But we reloaded because he was like, there's no way it's supposed to be like this. There's no way. And we reloaded it and we saved everybody. We were mind blown. It was crazy. And that's all over this game. Like actual choices that you make, actual dice rolls that change things. And there are plenty of choice-based games where I'm like, did that choice really matter? Let's keep it a buck. Telltale, I'm looking at you. Did that choice really matter? But in Baldur's Gate 3, it actually does. Your actions too, it's incredible. However, I don't know, it's just the pacing and walking. I can be immersed and I can love the environment, but it's like there are moments where I'm bored and I'm like, I don't want to fight nothing. When in a game like this, when you don't want to fight anything, it's like, ugh. And here's a big problem to me. At a certain point, you reach a max level, and for me, again, me and my buddy, we did quite a bit in the game. We reached max level, I feel, fairly early. I mean, we still had, I don't know, it's been a minute since I played, but We probably reached the max level dozens of hours before we actually beat the game. That's crazy to me. And I love the leveling up aspect. I love that. I do love how they changed the armor system. I hated the armor system, Divinity. I hated it. The fact that like if you remove a chest plate because the armor sucks, that all of a sudden you can't use half your spells because it was giving you a plus that you were not calculating, but you're like, oh, I can use this spell. Well, yeah, because the chest plate you put on, but now you have a better chest plate, but now I took away 2 constitution, and now I hated that system, especially when other pieces of armor have a certain requirement. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna take off this. Oh, I lost 2 memory, whatever, or 2 constitution. So now my helmet flew off. So now I can't wear that. And it's just, I did not like that. I did like the free respecs in Divinity, but the armor system in Baldur's Gate 3 was cool. You could look fire. You could dye your armor. All that stuff was cool. I will say my biggest gripe though with Baldur's Gate 3 is how they do the leveling up. I understand that people who play D&D probably already know the levels and what spells to expect. From someone who doesn't do that shit, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Here's the problem with, if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, here's the problem with the level up system. When you pick a class, you have no idea what that class will give you. There's nothing in Divinity. If you get a spell book, it'll be like, it requires this much Aerothurge. So you're going to need to put in that many points to be able to use the spell. Cool, understandable, right? Baldur's Gate 3, no. You level up and then they give you a bunch of options of like, okay, what subclass do you want? I don't know what that entails for real later down the road. Okay, do you want this? And do you want these spells? Do you want to go? And I'm like, because in that game you can spec it to all the classes if you want, but that makes it to where you can't go all the way in a certain way. Like you might have to, I forget what the max level is, but you might, if you want to go 2 classes and you want to go equal into 2 classes, that means you'll have to go 6 levels into one. Let's say the max level is 12. You'll have to go 6 levels into one class and 6 levels into the other class. That sucks because like if you don't play D&D, you don't know what to expect from like if you just focus on one class. Or should you like go a certain amount in another class when you don't know what you're going to get? That's my problem. You have no idea what it entails. If you just pick a class and you look at the stuff, it does not tell you what you'll get in the future, like at all. And you'll have to Google it. I had to Google it. I had to do my research. And I hate it when I feel the need to do research for a game, because it's like, I want to know, I want to build a class and feel like I have some control over what the fuck is going on, right? Should I go the type of spell assassin? Should I go fighter and barbarian? Should I go rogue or whatever the fuck? And then should I also go into barbarian a certain amount because it gives you an extra attack? But how was I supposed to know that at a certain level barbarian would get you extra action? You know what I mean? Or extra attack is stuff like that where it's like, and in the lore in the game you could explain in the lore or whatever. You could give a fucking glossary, you know, a glossary of telling you all the classes and what to expect in all the classes, so you don't have to go to the internet to figure out what the fuck is going on, like what you're doing in terms of leveling up. Because at a certain point I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I made Shadowheart someone who just throws people. I just focused on strength. I'm like, all right, she throws people, I guess, and she throws spears at people. Like I don't at Arya, I loved Arya because again, anything with spells I did not want to do because I didn't understand it really. I didn't know what to expect, what to get, what kind of setups I wanted. So with Arya, I was like, I'll get to a point to where I think I gave her fighter or something, and I was like, I get to a point where she gets an extra attack, and then I'll just level up the rest in anything that gives me ranged and just bow stuff. I didn't want to have to do no spell shit. And then the options, it's paralysis by analysis. They give you so many fucking spells and half of them need concentration, half of them are like, I don't know, ritual spells. Some of them need a level 2, some of them get stronger with higher levels, some of them don't. If you're not already into D&D, I don't think this game is going to make you into like a D&D lover. I'm gonna be honest. If you're not into it, you're not going to get into it based off this game. I mean, from this game. And this game and Divinity 2 both allowed me to understand that maybe these types of games are just not for me, because they're supposedly, both of them are like the best the genre has to offer, really. I feel like you know what I mean? They're both critically acclaimed, they're both well made. Baldur's Gate 3, again, incredibly well made. I just did not really enjoy it, but I marveled at some of the stuff that they, like the choices, the graphics, what they were able to do. It just did not click for me. With that being said, I'm not going to put it in detail. I think it's too much of an incredible game, and that's my opinion. It just wasn't for me. I'm putting it in C tier. Split Fiction. Split Fiction is interesting. Split Fiction. Okay, so to let you guys know, It Takes Two and Split Fiction both have the same developer, right? They're both co-op games. They're games meant to be played in co-op. Like, there's no 1 to 2 players. It's 2 player. And the awesome thing about these games that will always give them a boost in my mind is that there's a friend pass, meaning both games, It Takes Two and Split Fiction, I bought, and my friend that I played it with did not have to buy it, which makes sense because it's a 2-player must game. But I mean, like that's incredible. Straight up, stop, non-stop, or was it non-stop? Full stop. They're both incredible games. They're both incredible for that. But It Takes Two, the puzzles and the mini games were great. They were fantastic, and you played it with your buddy. Split Fiction improves on the feel, because it feels amazing, and it improves on the graphics. The graphics were awesome. The graphics were absolutely amazing. Based off of the game by itself, outside of the graphics, I honestly think it's worse than It Takes Two, because there are so many, I kid you not, like half the game felt like a tech demo. It felt like they were just showing off the graphics, which again, it was some awesome scenery, but even the mini games, you weren't competing with the other person, which was so much fun. I don't know a single person who did not enjoy like the co-op, me versus you type of thing in It Takes Two. That shit was so much fun, and it was so funny, and there were so many times where it was just fun, harmless fun. They did the same thing in Split Fiction, where it's called side stories, but a lot of them, you're not really competing with each other, and most of them, it's like there's no real score. There's like one mini game where you're for sure competing against each other. There's another mini game where you're working together. A lot of them you're working together, and that's cool, and some of them are cool, like with the robot lady, but it's not. And the monkey dude is not a side story. That shit was just hilarious. There were funny moments. The game was beautiful, but so much of it was like just on rails. Half the game was on rails. Just one of you is driving and the other person is shooting. That's half the game. Even when they did that in It Takes Two, at least at some point, one of you is fighting a squirrel in like a Street Fighter 2D fighting game. Like, that's fire and that's creative. It felt like, again, Split Fiction felt like a tech demo. It felt like they were just showing off graphics and the feel of the game. It felt like they did not care as much about the puzzles and the moment to moment figure it out gameplay. It felt like it was supposed to be more casual, but to me and my buddy, well, at least to me, it was just, some of the gameplay was just more boring. It looked prettier, it was just more boring. However, if that was it, and I love the look of the game, but if that was it, I would put it in C tier. But I have to put it up a notch. I have to. Why? Because the ending of the game is better than the entire game. It's a finale, and it might be better than It Takes Two. Don't get me wrong, it's still pretty easy, but it was so creative. Like, it split the screen in half, and that was when they started flexing different ways of doing 2 players. The finale of the game should have been the entire game, in my opinion, or basically the entire game. They were so creative. It felt like they squeezed all of their creative juices into the final part of the game. It was so fun. It was so interesting how they did it, and they brought back all the previous memories and all that. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved the ending. I loved it. but I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think It Takes Two, even though it does not compete in graphics or feel, I think overall it was just a better game to play, you know. Schedule One is a drug dealer's Stardew Valley. Okay, at first I was like, what the fuck is this, you know? I wasn't feeling it, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what are we supposed to be doing? But once I started getting into it, I was playing with a buddy of mine. He would go around, he'd sell, and I'd be making the drugs. And basically you're organizing everybody, and you're organizing all the stuff, and you're doing all like the tedious work I wasn't a big fan of, but organizing everybody, picking up the drugs and all that, it was fun until I realized that it was going to be the same thing for the rest of the game. And that's not fun. And I don't really have fun selling drugs. That part of the game I left to my buddy, because I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in cooking, you know what I'm saying? Now I will say that the game impressed me heavily when it came to just how people acted. The fact that drug dealer or druggies, I got a knife pulled out on me. That was fire. The police would shoot at us. Like, just the fact of you being able to be so separate from your teammate and them getting into all kinds of crazy stuff. I remember at one point I was in a laundromat and I look outside and I see my friend in a shootout with the cops. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is something that you can't really have in Stardew Valley. I mean, you can see what they're doing and like you can see them, you know, creating stuff, and that's cool. It's kind of like Minecraft, right? You can see what they're creating, and that's awesome to experience. But it's at a certain point, Schedule One doesn't. You're doing the same thing over and over again at a certain point, especially once you get automatic with the drugs and stuff, and then you start delivering to the dealers, and nothing. I feel really becomes fully automatic because you still have to buy the stuff, and the storage sucks. The storage is, I get it, like it's cool to be able to see your stuff and all that, but having to need so many storages to put shit in, and then you can't just stock it to the fucking brim because you can only hold so much, and the storages can only hold so much. And then so basically, if you have a large operation, you have to go to the store like every 2 in-game days. I mean, especially if your people are working hard and then you have to sell to people. The open world aspect they did spectacularly. The moment-to-moment gameplay, and I can't wait to see where the game ends up, because if it's anything like Stardew Valley, they have a lot of room to grow, right? Because Stardew Valley, the version me and my buddy played, because I think we had just started playing when the final update of Stardew Valley came out. Pretty much, we were probably like a few dozen hours in, and then the update came, and then it was like, oh shit, no, we were maybe 50 hours in, I don't know. But the update came and there was so much to do, and I remember there's so much to do in Stardew Valley. A buddy of mine was like, what do we do now? Like he got bored, right? But me and my other friend, there was still more to do, and mind you, he barely ever left his farm. I was doing everything. I think I got perfection on the game. I did get perfection on the game, and it was fun as hell. Like I caught all the legendary fish. That was fun. I went to Ginger Island. I unlocked the volcano by myself. I think I got everyone's friendship maxed out. That was awesome. Like, you know, just seeing the cutscenes, experiencing that. I played the arcade and the bar for like, I want to say 2 days straight, 2 real life days of just playing those 2 arcade games, trying to beat them. And it was a JoJo Kart. That shit broke me. But the Prairie King could be its own game. Like, the person who created Stardew Valley could have made that. I think I talked about it when I placed Stardew Valley in S tier. But they did so much. Schedule One, if Schedule One is anything like that, because I got Stardew Valley vibes. The way I was feeling when I first started playing Stardew Valley is the same way I started feeling when I started playing Schedule One. They could take this far, man. They could take it far, man. And mind you, it's also very glitchy. Schedule One. The reason me and my buddy stopped playing it was we had already gotten to a point where like we had fully automated the barn pretty much. But here's the problem. It started getting very glitchy and people weren't working when they were supposed to be working. And I knew it, that they were supposed to be working, and it wasn't my fault because we would restart the lobby and then boom, they started working again. However, one person just broke. They would just break. I wouldn't change anything, but I'd set them, they'd start working, and then they would just stop. And then if I fired them and hired somebody else, they would start working and then they would just stop. And I didn't change anything. I knew it was a glitch because at that point I was automated. I was like, I know what the fuck I'm doing, you know? And we got to a point where I think it was 2 sessions in a row where it was unplayable. It was unplayable. I could not go anywhere without extreme seizure inducing hitching. It was an awful experience. It sucked. So the glitchiness and the lack of stuff to do, I feel bad for doing this. I do. There were some good moments. I feel like it has a long way to go. I want to put it in C tier if just because of the thought that it could get much better. I mean, Stardew Valley level. I could see it going from C tier to S tier for sure. But if it does not change anything, I could see it drop it to D tier. You know what? Let me go ahead and look up if they have any updates. Let me see what type of updates they've added. And the whole like mixing stuff, I didn't get into that. I don't like to get into the specifics of making drugs. I just want to make more, you know what I mean? The Halloween update is here. Added sewer system, added climbing system. Sorry, this update is a couple of days late. I was originally planning on skipping the open beta and going straight to full release. At the last minute released, I should probably play it safe and publicly. Okay. Added ladders to various buildings, added sewer maintenance office property, added sewer access key, added trash crown, added garbage thrown. What the added 5 more graffiti locations, added loading dock to West Gas Mart. Oh yeah, I should also mention there was a storage place that you could have that could only have one person working in it. I'm pretty sure. And it was small. I was like, what the fuck is the point of this? Here's my thing. Again, they could take it far. My problem is that all your properties are separate. So there's no packaging station. It's understandable. You probably don't want your workers to walk across town with drugs, but that'd be kind of fun. That'd make the place feel alive. Like you just going through selling drugs and then you see someone, your botanist, just going across town delivering their, all the fresh weed and shit to the package place. They need to enact some sort of cross management. Because otherwise, half the properties are fucking useless. I feel like the little storage area where you can only have one person. What the fuck is the point of that? Genuinely, what is the point of that? So, nah, I didn't like that. But if they added more and they just crossed that, you could say, hey, you send all these drugs to this location, that would be fire. And if there was like a chance, if they let you see a chance of them getting caught by the cops and losing all the drugs on them, that would be fire. That would, oh my god. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, added new replication queue system to help stagger network traffic when a player joins a multiplayer game. I also thought it was cool that some characters reacted when you pointed a gun at them. That was fire. Things for sale and not for sale is cool. The second community vote is now open. Hireable drivers. This new employee can transport items between your properties. You'll be able to designate automatic transit routes. Okay, this is what I'm saying. I was gonna say, if they're not really updating it, this shit is D tier. But it looks like fishing. Who doesn't like a classic fishing minigame? Reel in fish, which can be sold at Randy's Bait and Tackle. Rival cartel. Ambushes. Hold up. Dealer robbings. Wow. Okay, look, I haven't played this, so I cannot rank it that way. In the future, if I go back to schedule 1, I might change it, but for now, my experience, it was a solid C tier. Because I would say it was A tier. It was A tier for about 5 hours. It was A tier for about 5 hours, and then after that. But it looks like they're upgrading it. If I go back to it and I have some fun again, I'm telling you, it could be S tier. It could be S tier. It has that potential for sure. And considering the rate at which they're updating, which I don't blame them, this $20 game, it's a indie developer, and they have almost 200,000 reviews. That's reviews. They're making bank, y'all. But that's good. They're putting in work. I love that. 27 hours. That was my biggest gripe, because some areas just become useless. But if you can transport, nigga, oh, that changes everything. You know, it might be B tier. Like, even though I haven't even played, the fact that they're updating it like this, my experience was D tier. My hope that I had for the future of the game wanted me to put in C tier. Reading this, I'm putting it in B tier. I haven't played it, but that's hard. But I don't know if it looks like they're also fixing things. So if they are fixing things, maybe I could actually play the game and it's not broken anymore. Because there were some some issues from playing that game. I'll put it in B tier. I think it deserves that for now. Halo 3. Halo 3, probably my favorite Halo game. Halo 2, I loved Halo 2. I don't think my buddy loved Halo 2. I loved Halo 2. Halo 3 was more of, I'm not gonna say more of the same. It was good though. It was good. I think me and him would say that it's probably the best Halo game. But Halo 2 is up there. I loved Halo 2. Basically, everything that I loved about Halo 2 is probably up there with Halo 3. I do think Halo 3 had a funny ending. I think it probably had the best ending in terms of not being annoying. I don't know what's up with Halo and shitty final missions, but they did something with Halo 3. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was impressed, or I was happy that they didn't go down from Halo 2. I'm gonna put them next to each other because, you know, Halo 2, Halo 3. But yeah, I think Halo 3 is A tier. I think it holds up very well to this day. It's just fun because it's very rare to find a game that like lets you add certain difficulty and have that be fun. Because Iron Skull, I'm not gonna lie, me and my buddy's experience of the game, at least my experience of the game, was way better once we started going on Iron Skull, which Iron Skull is if one of us dies, we have to restart the checkpoint. And putting on, I think we put on Heroic. I think we had on Legendary at one point, but we kept on Heroic, I think. And that is so much fun. Like, just the tension of like, we gotta lock in. That is so much fun. I love Halo 3 is A tier. Halo 3 ODST. Halo 3 ODST, I don't know the development of it, but you can't tell me it wasn't made by a different team. Or somebody. Like, it was so different from every other Halo game, and not in a good way. It was, first off, they gave us a menu tutorial, one that we needed, because like, what the fuck is going on in that menu? I don't give a fuck about half that shit. I don't know if we ever even used the map. We did use the map because so if you don't know Halo 3 ODST, you basically go between flashbacks. Your team crashes on the city. You wake up later, and then you go around the city by yourself looking for your friends, your teammates, right? And you find things that show that they were there, and then you go into a flashback of your teammates and you experience whatever they experienced that caused, let's say, their helmet to get lodged into a TV, right? That you found when you were just scoping out the city at night and shit. So you're going between the flashbacks of war to your character in the now at nighttime, and the vibe, I get it. I get what they were going for. There's this calm, like the music, it's like noir style, just calm, and you're going through this city and there are aliens still around, and you're just trying to make your way to your teammates. and then you go into a flashback and then there's nothing but action. There were good moments. The dialogue was cheesy as fuck a lot of the time. I'm not going cheesy as hell. But those moments though, the noir style and all that, I could see what they were going for. My friend hated it. My friend hated it. He was like, this is so fucking boring. And it probably didn't help that we still had Iron Skull on. So when one of us died, we had to start over and traverse half the city again. And the map kind of sucked. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the first hour of the game was a bad start because they give you a silencer and they don't give you a lot of weapons. Like, you run out of ammo easily and you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Because we were playing on legendary or heroic or something, so we're dying. We don't really have a way to, we got shitty guns. That whole, I see what they were going for. The atmosphere was great, but the actual execution of those in between times when you're looking for your teammates was poorly executed. I'll say that much. And that's probably a lot nicer than how my friend would put it. But it was just very... So the first hour of the game, they give you a gun with a silencer. My assumption was that you were supposed to sneak around. Me and my buddy, and the fact that they didn't give you a lot of weapons, you're like, okay, so I have a silencer pistol and these aliens are easily avoidable. Okay, so we're just supposed to make it past them and get somewhere, right? And we're looking at doors and shit, and I'm pretty sure from my memory some of the doors had a green button on them, but they weren't openable, right? And I'm like, okay, what the fuck then, right? And we went around, I'm not gonna say an hour, but like 30 minutes of us just running around like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And then we Googled it. Apparently you're supposed to kill everybody, which in our minds was the opposite, because we're too smart is what I'm trying to say. We assumed that we always look at whatever the game is trying to tell us, right? That's our goal. And we've never been stuck like that on the game before. We were like, okay, we have a finite amount of ammo, we have a silenced pistol, and these aliens are easily avoidable, and we're not really trying to get anywhere, we're just trying to get to something, right? So we're like, okay, obviously you're supposed to avoid the aliens or like sneak past them or something. No, you're supposed to kill them all. Just kill them all. And then all of a sudden a telephone will ring, and then you answer it, and then you go through a whole menu tutorial. Brother, that is not a quick menu tutorial either. They force you to actually take a tutorial, and like they give you a moment to make sure you read everything, and it's like, brother, I don't give a fuck. Like, do I really need a whole... I'm not gonna get into it. And the visor, after that moment, the visor kind of tells you, like, once you're in a certain area, where to go. Like, there will be markings if you use the visor, and there will be markings around wherever you're supposed to go. Like if there's a door, or if you're supposed to be underneath a certain telephone wire or whatever the fuck, there will be markings to kind of guide you a little bit. They don't do a tutorial on that. To me, it was just random markings sometimes. It's like, okay, there are markings here randomly. I don't know what these markings mean. What do they mean? They're just random markings. They literally just mean, look here, basically. The development team, this is the problem Halo 3 ODST had is the same problem Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree had, and that's the artists had too much power, in my opinion. That's the vibe I got. The artists had way too much power, and they were controlling things that they shouldn't be fucking touching. Because it's like, oh, but look at the vibe of this, look at how this looks, you know. But you got to have the vibe, the energy. But it's a video game at the end of the day. How are they going to be playing the game? It'd be different if it's nothing but cutscenes, but it's not nothing but cutscenes. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, there were so many areas that looked cool that were empty as fuck. I'm like, why are you? Because in Elden Ring, in the base game, they teach you to look in every nook and cranny. In DLC, there were so many nooks and crannies that had fucking nothing, and I googled it. Nothing. The Finger Ruins, oh, this huge area that's about 5 square miles. Yeah, go explore every inch of it. There will be fucking nothing. nothing but where the artists want your eye to lead. The very middle is like, oh, okay. Base game is not doing that. I brought this up before, but the Radon Beach, after you beat Radon in the base game, you go all the way to the end of the shoreline. There's a hidden cave, one of the hardest caves I've ever been in. It was fire. It shows that the soldiers are still fighting even though they're dead. So you're fighting Radon soldiers that you realize are so much stronger than you. You know what I'm saying? That was fire and cool lore, I feel like. Shadow of the Erdtree did not do that. But I had to put it up there because it's Elden Ring. I mean, I think before I put it in C tier, but I'm like, let's be real. Let's be real. It's up here. It's up here. So anyway, Halo 3 ODST had the same problem, but it's not Elden Ring. It's Halo. There's some good moments. I think the artists had too much control over it. The flashbacks were cool. The atmosphere, I see what they were going for. It was cool. The ending was interesting. It wasn't the worst ending Halo has ever had. So even that we got stuck on at some point. I was like, oh brother, we had to drive through this long ass highway. I'll put it in C tier. I'll put it in C tier. It's not D tier. I'll put it in C tier. And we plan on playing Halo 4 soon, but I don't know. I think that's it. I think I'm happy with this. I think I'm happy with this. Why is Observer so high? I don't think I played the game how I should have. Like the Observer or Observer. But yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. Erica, I feel like I should put, I don't know. They're not, nah. Keep chill. Yeah, we'll keep it here. We'll keep it here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, if you didn't, try another video, maybe like that one. Other than that, keep your head up. Peace.